What's good, bro?
Nothing, just enjoying life, chilling as usual.
For the people who don't know you, introduce yourself and where you from.
I am XRAYE. I'm an artist from Colorado, born and raised. And I just make music of all types. I produce, sing, rap, dance, anything you need, I got you.
Shit, what school did you go to?
We talking about like middle school, high school? We talking about
all of them, nigga.
I mean, I moved around a lot, so I was constantly switching schools. Elementary school, I switched a lot. Went to like Stedman, Marama, shit like that. High school, I probably stayed the longest in. Middle school was in like one of those online schools. But in high school was probably the most memorable for me. I was in Manual before I got kicked out. and then I went to Emily Griffith.
You was a Thunder Thug too, that's what it was.
Hell yeah.
I was, nigga, class of 06.
Yep. I was gonna be class of 2017, but I had to repeat a year.
Shit just didn't work out.
Yeah, it was more of a thing with credits, It didn't count credits, so I got held back a little bit, but music and finishing school was always the most important to me, so.
Bad. Speaking of music, what made you fall in love with it? What or who?
Well, who was my parents. My mom and my dad were very big on music. My mom used to rap, and my dad always danced and stuff growing up. That was like a big inspiration on me to start music. But what made me really love music the most was probably Tupac, just because like poetry, stuff like that. I originally started writing poetry, and it made it a lot easier to like get out my emotions and like things I felt like I couldn't tell people.
Would you say Pac is your biggest influence on your sound?
On my sound, I'd say I try to be a bit of a melting pot. I take the aspects that I feel like incorporate into my personality and what works for me, and I try to utilize that. So it's anything from like old school hip hop from like KRS-One and like Rakim to like like 90s like Biggie, Busta, Twista, shit like that, all the way to like new shit like Kendrick and stuff like that. It's just whatever works the most with my personality.
Good. What you got on the way, project-wise?
Right now, I've been working on a bunch of like singles behind the scenes, but I'm currently working on my album, Enigmatic Ambition. I've been working on it for a while. I had to stop for a little bit, but now I feel like I'm better of an artist than a song creator. So now it definitely will make more of an impact than I wanted it to initially.
All right. And as an artist, what makes you different?
What makes me different? It's ironically enough the same thing that makes me similar to some people. The fact that not everybody nowadays, like they used to, really has a voice. And I've always wanted to be like the voice for the voiceless. I always felt like growing up, people didn't really want to listen to what I had to say. And because of that, it made me want to be able to speak for everybody, including myself.
Nice. What would you say is your most successful song or project that you have out?
Most successful song, my most successful is probably a remix that I did to a Young M.A. song. That one was called Don't Walk. But what means the most to me is a song I did called Rude, that and Window Pane. Just for the aspects of one, I was getting out all my anger and frustration that I kept bottled up, and it was a huge release for me. And then Window Pane I made after my best friend had ended up dying. And part of that I used to basically honor his memory and to put his words in record form.
Fire. I remember that. I remember recording that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Definitely.
We got a lot of history, people. We got a lot of history. That's my little brother. This right here is long overdue. The GOAT Talk we just did is long overdue. Speaking of GOAT Talk, how was your GOAT Talk experience?
Oh, it was amazing. I feel like, especially not, I know my brother don't like this, so not to big him up too much, but Normally when we work together, we can make stuff happen pretty quickly and we can knock stuff out. So it's just a testament to how far he's come in general, that we work well together and we have a chemistry, so we can knock stuff out as quickly as possible without any issues.
So I don't want to influence the answer to this next question, but it kind of just happened like this. What has been your favorite collaboration?
I mean, you're honestly really the only person I work with like that. So, I'm very skeptical of a lot of people, and I'm a very tough critic even on myself. So if I don't feel like musically like we can connect, or like personality-wise we connect, I can't connect with you on music.
Makes sense.
And so like, as far as with me and you, I'd say probably Painkillers is the favorite, probably one of my favorites of the songs we've done together.
Man, nigga, that whole album was crazy. That shit was slept on. That whole album was slept
definitely. That's one of my favorite albums to this day. I still play that shit.
Man. Speaking of slept on, what is your most... I'm good at this interview shit, bro. I'm good at this interview shit. What's your most slept on project or song that you feel the most slept on?
Most slept on, I've been listening to like a lot of my early music recently, and I'd say there's probably two of them. I always like, ironically enough, it's gonna be another collaboration we did together, but I've always like Overtime. I feel like that was a really good one. And then personally, I'd say one I did with Hatch's Addiction. That was like when I really was figuring out like I could really do this music shit, and like I kind of like know what I'm doing and like what's best for me in my style.
Hell yeah. I agree. That room we had when we was recording like every fucking weekend. Yeah. It was like some crazy magic records getting made. Ruby's Kitchen, and I miss it. I need my motherfucker.
I definitely understand. I feel the same way.
Shit, I need that motherfucker back. It just ain't the same.
Yeah.
All right. What has been your biggest challenge in your musical endeavors?
My biggest challenge, honestly, has been myself. And not on no like narcissistic shit. It's just I'm my biggest critic, and I'm a perfectionist. So a lot of times, I feel like I can do something, but I'll stand in my own way and make it difficult for myself, because I'll feel like, well, what if people don't like it, or I may not be ready and shit like that. And it kind of makes it difficult when you have like, you know, depression and anxiety to push past certain things, but I have to, because that's the reason that I started to do this in general. And if I can't do it, then I can't do what I set out to be and be there for other people like, you know, I've always wanted to.
So you your biggest hater?
Yeah.
How you handle the outside haters?
Outside, I take it with a grain of salt. I know that if I like something, there's always going to be someone out there that's like-minded and similar to me that might like what I like, and to not try to pander to everybody just because of the fact that they may not like what I like. So like, a lot of people I've met, especially in high school, was the people that I'm still to this day the closest friends with, and it's because we built that bond and that connection, and I learned how to be myself and stop trying to conform to other people and how they think I should be because of their view of me. That's made things a lot easier.
Is there anything you wish you would have did differently?
In all honesty, just go harder with school and music so I can finish school earlier. And music, I feel like I'd be a lot further now if I didn't stand in my own way. So that's the main thing, is just working harder than I already have been.
Yeah, we lost a big gap of time that could have been. Well, we about to run it back though. We about to get up for that shit. Perfect timing. It's God's timing.
Definitely.
What is your ultimate goal in all this?
My ultimate goal is to make sure I'm in a place to where I can do what I love, I'm financially stable, and me, my family, and everyone that I care about is good. To where I can literally just live for the rest of my life just doing the one thing that's always made me happy, which is just music of any form, whether it's dancing, being behind the scenes, being in front of the camera, anything. I've just always loved music of all, and art in general of all forms.
All right. It's pretty intact goals. I'm just trying to be rich, nigga. No, I'm just playing.
I feel like we all are.
I'm trying to change the whole world, like for real.
Definitely. That's the biggest thing for me, is the impact I leave on the world. I want to have a legacy more than just my kids or grandkids or anything. I want my name to mean something.
Exactly. All right, I'm about to ask you a bunch of random questions.
Got a bunch of random answers.
Yeah. These questions you ain't prepared. Well, we wasn't prepared for none of this shit. This is kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
But I'm about to ask you about 10 random questions. I might go over 10. I might go under 10. I'll try to go what makes sense. What's the greatest shoe of all time?
Greatest shoe of all time? I'd say by public opinion is Jordan's. My own personal opinion, I like a lot of like old school stuff. I've always been named retro for that reason. I'm old soul. Like I like Troops and like and like shit like that. Like I old school fucking Adidas and Air Maxes and
Oh yeah.
anything I could use to make more so like a old school like vintage look.
Okay. Something the artist could say that'll make you immediately turn the damn song off.
Something an artist can say that it will immediately make me turn a song on. Probably anything foul having to do with them or their family. If they're trying to pull a Kendrick and talk shit about me on a song that we on together. I'll be like, fuck that shit and pull a LL and I'll redo my whole verse just to fuck them niggas off.
What's the greatest album of all time?
Greatest album. I don't know if I have an answer to that just because the fact that I listen to so much music of all different genres, it's kind of hard to pick something. I'd say an album that means a lot to me is one of the early Eminem albums, so either Eminem Show or, let's see, the Slim Shady LP. Or no, Marshall Mathers LP is probably
I was going to say, Marshall Mathers is probably my favorite work by Eminem. All that other shit just kind of...
Yeah, I feel like Eminem Show for like, that's when I started really getting into like rapping. As far as like listening to people rapping and understanding how like technically it worked. But emotionally, I'd say, like I said, Marshall Mathers LP means a lot more to me just because I can relate to it so much. And that's a big thing with me with music is if I can relate to it or can connect to the artist.
What's your craziest experience? I was about to add syllables to that shit. What's your craziest experience with a woman?
I mean, negatively, I've been stalked before. That shit was crazy. Positively, probably stuff in the movie theater or parking lot.
Okay. What top 3 movies of all time?
One of my favorite movies to this day is, and a lot of people won't agree with this, but I don't care. It's Step Up 2.
To the streets?
Hell yeah, to the streets. That nigga Moose be killing it. I wasn't gonna see that shit in theaters when it came out. I also really like a movie that means a lot to me personally. I've always liked, what was that shit called? I'm trying to remember. I'm bad with names and shit. I've always liked the first or like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder.
Like the 80s one?
Yeah. The Willy Wonka, yeah. And let's see, what's another one I really like? I really like, I don't have a specific one, I'll just say genres. I really like thrillers like that. Like I'm big on like psychological horror and thriller, stuff like that.
Okay. Describe the perfect sandwich. You like how I said sandwich.
I'm basic. I really don't like condiments like that. I barely eat sandwiches, to be honest.
This nigga need to eat more sandwiches. That's what's wrong with your ass. You need a sandwich.
I mean, I like Chinese food. Chinese food and seafood are my favorite foods, if that's a consolation.
All right, I got 2 more. All right. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up?
First thing I do when I wake up, To be honest, it's normally freestyling for a little bit, trying to get myself mentally prepared, working on music, and then just getting myself ready for the day, work on more music.
All right. Your happiest moment this year?
This year, I'd say all my happiest moments, to be honest, are normally always like when I'm working on music with my brother or I'm performing.
Oh.
It's just, I feel my most comfortable, in my element when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with and I can trust, and doing what I love, and music has always been that for me. So.
All right, bet. All right, so this is the portion of the interview where I tell my guests to talk their shit.
All right.
So at this time, I'm gonna have you look in that camera. This camera right here.
Gotcha.
And say whatever you want to say, however you want to say, to whoever you want to say. Hype yourself up. Promote your IGs, your
Gotcha.
albums. Talk your shit. Say, the floor is yours. Talk your shit.
Most definitely. So I got something I've been wanting to get off my chest for a little bit. A lot of these motherfuckers that's getting popular and are on now, y'all niggas don't know that I put them niggas on. And so I'm gonna have to tell y'all, I took my hiatus or whatever. So I'm gonna have to get in now and start showing everybody how shit's really done. And you can look me up on all my social medias, XRAYE, XRY, or XRAYE, or XRAYE. And yeah, this whole year and from here on, we about to be taking everybody's spot. So that's all I gotta say. It's up. I'm done being humble.
Real shit, because this motherfucker is really one of the best artists I've had the pleasure to work with and to call my brother, and like just to know personally. Like when you see this dope shit being made in person, it's different than just hearing it, you know what I'm saying, on Spotify. It's different when you see it being made. This motherfucker's special.
I've been doing music, for like 13 years at this point?
Yeah, man. And like to be gone this long and to come back with the fucking song we just recorded and shot. This motherfucker here is special, so get used to the name XRAYE. And with that being said, I am Vic Carter. This is XRAYE. This has been another episode of What's Good? Season 3 premiere, bitch!
What's good?
Yeah!
What's good?